Hi everyone, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, a great Mother's Day, and a wonderful start to your week. Little housekeeping before we get started. Don't forget to like my video and share my video. And if you share, be sure to comment down below so you get a chance to win the project I'm working on tonight. Last week I made this cute card using this twisted ribbon effect. And this card's going to go out to Joan Ballenger because she shared my video and her name was randomly chosen. So Joan, thank you so much for supporting my small business, and I'll get this card out to you very soon. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe to my channel and then click the little bell for notifications whenever I upload a new video. I usually upload a new video every Monday night. So I'm glad you're here with us too. So with that being said, we are going to get started. I'm going to change the view to my hands and we're going to work on tonight's project. Okay, so I am going to use this great new stamp set called Good Feelings. I love large sentiments. They really do all the work. You don't need a lot of extra, and I just think that they make beautiful cards. So we're going to use this. This is one of the new ones in the new catalog. And on this card, I have used the Tahitian Tide cardstock, the Tahitian Tide, what is this called? Metallic woven ribbon. And I used, our embellishments here are the Glossy Dots assortment right here. And we'll be getting to those. And then the ink colors that I have used on this card, because the card I'm going to make tonight for you is going to be different colors. So this card uses Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, and Pacific Point. I'm so glad to be able to bring Pacific Point out. It doesn't get a whole lot of love sometimes. So, and this paper here is from the Tea Time paper. I think that's what it's called. It's from the stuff that coordinates with the Tea Suite of products. I forget the name of it. I'm not good with those names. So, but we're going to do this card, but we're going to do it in some orange, yellow, and green. I wanted to try it in another color combination. So let's get started here. And we're going to do one of my favorite techniques, and that is heat embossing. Okay, let me see. I've got a lot of stuff on my desk here, so it's going to take me just a second. So this is, I'm going to use the same stamp. It says, sending sunshine and good feelings your way. First thing I'm going to do is ink it up with Versamark. If you're not familiar with Versamark, it is essentially clear ink, okay? You're not going to, and then I'm going to put white embossing powder on it. And you're not going to see it initially. It's not till I apply the color that you're going to really see the wow. So make sure I get that good and inked up. And I'm just going to put this in the middle of my paper. This is just this piece of paper just happens to be 5 1/4 by 4, but we're going to be cutting it down after we do the color and everything on it. So you can hear that you can't really see it. I don't know if you can see some of the glistening. There you go. You can see some of it. So now what we're going to do is get my white embossing powder, and I debated, since I was using lighter colors for this card, if I wanted to use a different color embossing, but I thought I'm going to just stick with white. So what I'm going to do is put embossing powder on here. And this is my favorite way to do the embossing powder, is in a little plastic container. This is actually a container that had lunch meat in it, I think, and it's just perfect. So now you can see, I think, there you go. You can see the white embossing powder. Now for the magic. This was I know that this was the first technique I learned that I really went, wow, I love that, when I started doing cards. So I'm going to take my heat gun. This is going to be a little loud, so, you know, give me a second, bear with me. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but we're going to just melt the embossing powder, okay? I'll be right back with you as soon as I get this done. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can show it to you. Let's see if I can get a good, you can kind of see it there, but it is slick and feels very nice. I love to rub my fingers over that. I think it feels so cool. But now we are going to make the magic happen. Okay, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper here and bring out my trusty blending brushes. Love the blending brushes. So we're going to try these 3 colors. I don't know how they're going to work, but they should go together. I've got Mango Melody, Calypso Coral, and Parakeet Party. So I'm hoping that this will turn out okay. We're going to keep our fingers crossed again on that. I think I'll start, since the Calypso Coral is probably the darkest color, I'm going to kind of start with that, okay, so that I make sure that we've got a good contrast between my white letters and a color. Now, you know, I have my blending brushes marked. This one's for yellow and orange, and this one's for the greens. And the only way you clean them is just to rub them on the paper, okay? So, you take your blending brush, hold it by the head, support it in your hand, pick up some ink, but before you put it on your card, you want to see how you get that glob of ink. You want to avoid that. So you get that off there, and then we're going to start here and just rub in that. And I think that's, see, you can already see it's coming through. I'm going to get a little bit more. See, I wouldn't want that big swirl like that on my card. Remember, you can always add more color. It's hard to take it away, though. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. So, I think I want to clean this brush off. Because I'm going to get that. There we go. That's the Calypso Coral. I've got a little bit of extra there, but I think it's going to be okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull in the Mango Melody. I'm going to use the same brush, which is okay, because this is my yellows and my oranges. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to take this off the side and kind of go like that. Put it in a few different places, like this. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to clean that right now because I'm not going to use that again, I don't think. Then we're going to pull out the Parakeet Party. This is one of the new in colors. And do the same thing here. I think that's okay. I might have done it a little bit different, but let's see what I got here. Okay. Now you can see we've got ink on some of those letters. Let me grab a piece of paper towel, and I should be able to just, look at that, I can just wipe that ink right off of those letters and the white just shines on through. Look at that. Looks like a sunshine, doesn't it? I think it turned out pretty good. You know, sometimes you just never know, you just have to play. So there's my blue one. Now we can cut it out. Get this out of the way. To cut it out, I am using the Scalloped contour dies. These have been around for a couple of years. Sorry guys, here a lot of stuff on my desk, and I'm going to use this one. This is the second to the largest. I believe that's what I used here. Yep, right like that. And I'm going to die cut that out. Now, because of the size of this die, I have to use my full size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, okay? This die's too big for my mini, which is what I prefer to bring when I'm on camera. So, put this on here. And I'm going to kind of center my, when I cut it out, kind of like that, you know, leaving some space in the bottom, because remember, I'm going to put a ribbon on the bottom, okay? So I want to make sure, I got to stand up so that I can see this well and get it. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Let's put that on there. Okay, there we go. Let me put these things out of the way. Give me just a second here to set this up. Okay, so I didn't know what color I wanted to put it on. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit for a background. So I pulled out a piece of Calypso Coral, Parakeet Party, and Mango Melody. Sorry, my brushes are falling all over the place here. And see which one it looked best on, and then that's the one we'll use. That's kind of, wow, it kind of pops off of there. Kind of hoping that one looks good. That's sure bright and cheery, isn't it? And then this is the mango. I think this is the Mango Melody. Not so much. I think one of the other two. So let's look at these again. Which one do we like it on better? The Calypso Coral. I think I like it on the Calypso Coral better. Okay, which is fine because I'm going to use some of this really pretty Parakeet Party metallic woven ribbon, okay, to tie my bow. And I'm going to cut about 14 inches. I did 12 on my other bow, and it didn't leave me much extra, so I'm going to try 14 and see how that works, okay? So let's see, I'm going to put this on here. And, you know, when you're tying these, you don't have to do a regular knot, but sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes you can just tie the bunny ears together. But let's see here. Okay, good. That's not bad. Let me see here. Sometimes you gotta finesse it. The nice thing about this die cut is it has, with the scallops, it's got a little place I can kind of make it, you know, set the ribbon so it stays. Okay. There we go. I think that looks good. Just trim those ends off a little bit. This was my first time working with this ribbon, and make that bow a little bit there. Cut this off just a little bit more. And I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, we had some copper colored ribbon that was kind of like this, and you could stretch it out. And this you can kind of do the same thing with. So, well, that was too small, it came apart, but I think you can like spread it out and do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So I think what I will do is use a glue dot. Let me get one here and put on the back just to kind of anchor that down. I didn't on my blue one, but I think I'm going to right here. Perfect. And let me get my dimensionals. Right there. Okay, now for this strip, I pulled this paper, I pulled this out, you know, to put it like that, but I do want to kind of color some of these flowers in. And again, I didn't want to color it until I knew which base I was going to do, okay? Where's my bow folder? Okay. There we go. So this is going to go on here, right in the center like that. So let's see. I'm going to get some, I'm going to use a different green maybe. I think I'm going to use the light granny apple green for some leaves. Let's see. I'm going to use some, I think I'll use some dark daffodil delight. And give me one more color, and where do I'll use a light Calypso Coral. And I'm going to just color some up here and some down below. Let me get a piece of, where's my piece of scrap paper I had that I was working on? Because remember, our blends will bleed through. So, let's see here. You know what, I can use the big one here. So I'm just going to color some of these in here. Let's see how much I'm going to need. Not too much. You know, I could have colored it all in, but really was more work than I needed. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do some Daffodil Delight. Doesn't have to be fancy, but I love using this black and white paper because you can color it to match whatever you need. I'll show you it in just a minute. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, you know. Again, hard to remember the names of all these great new designer series papers that we have. But everything, I think it's penciled something. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to take my, I'm going to use the other end, I think. Okay, is everything here colored? I think so. I just got to do the centers of those flowers, and let's pick the, oh, that was the dark. Okay. This shouldn't be that hard to pick out a color. I'll do the, oh, I guess I'll grab some dark Calypso Coral here. Kind of blend with our cardstock here. I think I only need to do that one. Okay. Let me make sure before we attach it. Perfect. Yep, just what I wanted to happen. Okay, so let me get my seal. See how it bleeds through? So you always want to be cautious when you're coloring with the blends of what is underneath. Okay, oops. Orient this the right way. And I want to show you the paper too. Oops, this is just a little long. I'm going to trim it off. Where are my scissors at? Here they are. But that's easy. Okay, so the paper I use for this is called Perfectly Penciled. I knew it had pencil in there. And like I said, everything is black and white. This is the paper I used. That's its flip side. There's that. Let me see. Ooh, that'd be pretty in the greens. Here's this. We've seen that. Then there's this pattern here. So lots of pretty, oh, one more I didn't missed. Lots of pretty black and whites. And with the black and white, I just love coloring them in. Okay, so I am going to get my backings off of here. So if you're just joining, or we're a little late joining, welcome. If you like my video, please share it, comment, share it, and I might be sending you this card. Okay. There you go. And look at that. I think that looks just stunning. Like I said, I like, oh, I forgot my goodies, my little bling. Again, these are the Glossy Dots Assortment. And I have to write the colors on the back. I kind of wish Stampin' Up! Would put them on the back here, but they don't. They come in, these are Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pool Party. So I think we'll take some of the Daffodil Delight ones. Let's see, where's my little knife? Here we go. We'll do just like we did with these. Just a little bit of bling. And you know what? They blend nicely with that green ribbon, actually. So put this one right up there. That's cool. They're like some other dots. We had some similar ones not long ago. Okay, now we're done. Exact same card, exact same layout, just different colors and totally different feelings, kind of like. So, I hope you liked my project tonight. Again, please share my video, comment, share it, and I might be sending my card to you next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Stamping with Denise. Bye now, everybody.